Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate skies are continued to be affected by a trough of low-pressure system accompanied by scattered rains. The group representing Israeli settlers brushed off a White House statement warning Israel about construction new settlements in West Bank territory. And the European Union leaders seek a plan to curb mass migration from Libya at a special summit in Malta. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in details, live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena of Sri Lanka on his country's independence anniversary. Due to the Sultanate skies being affected by a trough of low-pressure system, the northern governorates of the Sultanate witnessed scattered rains accompanied by active wind and low temperatures. Light to moderate rains were witnessed by the governorate of Musandam, Al-Buremi, North and South Al-Batina, Muscat and Al-Dakhiliya. Here are some pictures of the rainfall on the governorate of Muscat. The price of Oman oil April 2017 delivery rose 50 cents to reach $55.91. The average price of Oman oil February 2017 delivered stabilized at $52.72, thus $8.18 per barrel compared to January 2017 delivery. The group representing Israeli settlers today brushed off a White House statement warning Israel about constructing new settlements in the West Bank territory that Palestinians claim for their future state, saying instead that it looks forward to working closely with friends in the Trump administration. President Donald Trump has been perceived as sympathetic to these settlements, an issue at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that was a frequent source of friction between his predecessor and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israeli nationalists now believe they have an ally in the White House and have made no secret they will push for more settlements in the West Bank. The Palestinians claim all of the West Bank and East Jerusalem, along with the Gaza Strip areas captured by Israel in the 1967 Middle East War, for their state. The Palestinians and much of the international community consider all Israeli settlements illegal and view them as an obstacle to reaching a two-state solution to the conflict. The European Union leaders sought a plan to curb mass migration from Libya at a special summit in Malta today that was overshadowed by the challenges of Brexit and Donald Trump's policies. The 28 leaders are expected to back steps including helping the Libyan Coast Guard to cut the number of migrants making the dangerous sea crossing from North Africa to Italy. But they will also, without Prime Minister Theresa May, discuss the future of the bloc at a key turning point, with Britain set to leave and an increasingly difficult geopolitical situations with the new U.S. administration. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, meanwhile, said The best way for the European Union to deal with a US administration that seems ambivalent to Europe is to push forward with its own plans. The key issue for Europe is tackling the Libyan migration route, having already largely shut the route to Greece over the Aegean through a controversial deal with Turkey. You're watching this alternate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. Centuries-old tradition of bull racing is held throughout rural Pakistan. Welcome back to the news from the Southern of Oman television. A French soldier patrolling at the Louvre Museum in Paris shot and seriously injured a machete-wielding man today when he attacked security forces. Hundreds of tourists were confined to secure areas of the world-famous art gallery in central Paris after the attacker was shot 5 times in a public area inside the complex. One soldier was lightly injured and has been taken to hospital, while the knife man is in a serious condition but is still alive. 2 backpacks carried by assailant were checked by bomb disposal specialists at the scene and were found not to contain explosives. U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis today reassured 2 key U.S. treaty allies, South Korea and Japan, that President Donald Trump, who has raised doubts about the value of such partnership, is fully committed to defending them. These were the only 2 stops on Mattis' first overseas trip since taking office in January 20th. He said he chose to go to Japan and South Korea first in order to demonstrate that nothing will weaken the U.S. security promises. The U.S. has 28,500 troops in South Korea and about 50,000 in Japan, including on the island of Okinawa, where Mattis served as a young Marine officer in the early 1970s. Thousands of villagers gathered in a field in Pind Sundan, a village about 80 kilometers from the Pakistani capital, watching men balancing precautiously on a wooden sled race a pair of bulls. The centuries-old tradition of bull racing is popular throughout rural Pakistan. Village elders decided when to hold the event, which attracts thousands from the surrounding areas. It is held in winter after the crop have been cut so that people can gather in the open space. Spectators watch as bull racers try and stay on the sled while the bovines, tied together by wooden frames, hurtle towards the finish line. The one who managed to do so in the fastest time is declared the winner. The reward used to be land or cattle given to the winning bull racer, but these days it's more likely to be a washing machine or a television set. A racing bull costs about $19,000, but the cost of its upkeep can add as much as $38,000 by the time it is ready to race. With 330,000 inhabitants surrounded by volcanoes, glaciers and geysers, islands in an usual destination for refugees fleeing war in Syria. But since 2015, 118 Syrians have found hope for a new and tranquil life in the Nordic nation. Here is a report.
For Musa, being in Iceland feels like winning the lottery. In October 2016, after many difficult years in Syria and Lebanon, he, his wife and 6 children were given asylum in Reykjavik.
The public is very kind and nice, and I didn't expect that. I expected there to be issues and problems like there were in Lebanon. But I feel mentally relaxed in Iceland. My wife and children also do.
While keen to integrate, the family are also staying in touch with their Muslim identity. Musa must take 3 buses to reach the local mosque. On Sundays, his children take Arabic lessons at the centre. There are fewer than 100 Syrian refugees in Iceland, where in winter, temperatures can reach as low as -25, with only 3 hours of sunlight. Many are given accommodation in Akureyri, a northern town less than 40 miles from the Arctic Circle.
The people of Akureyri but they were very interested in the beginning and still are, and they have helped us a lot to integrate the families so they feel that they are at home. And of course we know that it has been difficult for them to come to a new country here up in the north.
Juma fled Damascus in Syria with his wife and 5 sons. They now live in Akureyri.
The language is the main obstacle. I mean, we're able to adapt to any conditions here, whether they're difficult or easy. We can live with them. It's only the language that's a little bit difficult. We need some time, and then we'll fully adapt.
Younger Syrians like Juma's children pick up Icelandic faster. Making friends at school and playing local sports has helped them to adjust to their new home.
I like Iceland because it's very nice and very nice people. And here we like it snow, because in Syria maybe see snow, maybe not.
Dozens more Syrians are due to arrive on the island in the coming weeks, all hoping for a warm welcome, whatever the weather.
And now for the general weather forecast. Around the Sultanate, cloudy skies will prevail over the northern governorates with chances of scattered rains. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of scattered rains as well. Winds will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate skies are continuing to be affected by a trough of low pressure system accompanied by scattered rains. The group representing Israeli settlers brushed off a White House statement warning Israel about constructing new settlements in West Bank territory. And the European Union leaders seek a plan to curb mass migration from Libya at a special summit in Malta. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, we thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening and good night.